Teen laughs after battering P to death.
Where you at, Berto?
Let's get right into it. This seems like it's going to be a crazy one. I'm reacting to this live on stream right now. So if you never want to miss a live stream, click the link in the description and follow along. Let's do it.
It's the morning of August 20th, 2024. And at HMP Fossway, the world's most high-tech prison, located in Leicester, England, inmate 21-year-old Thierry Robinson has just exited his cell after being let out for the day. He's captured here on CCTV with a huge grin on his face, heading over to his neighbor, 18-year-old.
This nigga just looks like he gets into trouble. Like, you know when you could just look at somebody and you could tell that they are up to no good? Like, he can't commit crimes without a ski mask. He's getting caught every time. He's the type of person that you're just like walking through the grocery store. They haven't even done anything wrong yet. And somebody's going to go up to them and be like, can I help you with anything, sir? Because we're just worried that he's going to do some bullshit.
Ashiri Smith. After waiting for him momentarily, the pair walk down the block and head over to the other side to a cell belonging to convicted paedophile Mahir Mohammed. When they re-emerge, there's no sign of Mahir. Now, one might take a look at this and think there's nothing wrong. However, ladies and gentlemen, something serious just went down in Mahir's cell. And if you hadn't guessed it by now, Thierry Robinson and Ashiri Smith had just murdered a paedophile.
What?
If you're wondering why HMP Fossway looks more like,
not that I feel bad for him or anything, but that's just crazy,
a hotel than a prison, well, that's because it's classified as Cat C. Prisons in the United Kingdom are ranked in categories. A being the most secure, home to some of the country's most dangerous people, all the way through to category D, which is essentially a big home that prisoners have to live in, instead of going to their actual residence. In a Cat D prison, some of the inmates are allowed to leave to go to work or study, and then return if they prove that they can do that over a period. They're even allowed to spend multiple days out of the prison and stay overnight at an approved address, say with a girlfriend, for example. HMP Fossway isn't quite that. Again, it's a Cat C resettlement prison. In other words, it's a highly secured facility that's designed to prepare inmates for reintegration into society without leaving. It offers certain amenities such as access to a gym facility, five-a-side football pitches, a music studio, computers within the cell, and even offers educational workshops in various sectors. So yeah, that's why some of you may think it looks like a hotel. I mean, to be fair, you wouldn't be by yourself in thinking that way, because when it first opened back in 2023, the prison made headlines for exactly that. Online critics compared it to a luxury hotel. They said, at the bare minimum, it was better than student accommodation. Over the past couple of years, HMP Fossway has gone viral.
Not gonna lie, if I was in this jail, I had access to that, I'm running a motherfucking over. Oh God.
For both positive and negative reasons. On the one hand, you had YouTuber Mr. Who's the Boss dub it the world's highest tech prison, while on the other hand, you had inmates within the prison filming TikTok videos complaining that sex offenders were being put on certain wings where they'd be able to see women and children who were visiting the facility.
This is HMP Fossway. We're on E block at the minute, and we're looking over to F block and the car park. Now, the jail wants to put the nonces on E and F wing, so when people's visitors and children come to visit people, they can see the car park and they'll be stood at the windows doing nasty things to the people's visitors. We want to protest about this. And the visits go straight in where you can see now. It's not good because, like I say, this E and F block look over the car park and we don't want them our kids. It's not fair. They should not get this block and where they can see public human people coming in. It's an outrage and it needs a...
Is somebody whispering to him what to say? Y'all not hearing that?
It needs a petition that it wants moving down to... They can have A and B block.
What the fuck? Nigga is doing a passionate speech on TikTok about how he wants change, but somebody's just fucking whispering in his ear what to say. This is probably like what fucking... when President Joe Biden was in office, this is probably what the vice presidents had to do. Because nigga didn't know what the hell to say. They're just whispering bullshit in his ear.
And people's families that come into the jail, we need to get them to petition as well. And protest against them because they can't be on the outside fence looking at all the kids and the people coming in. It's not fair. And we're on E block. HMP Fossway, Nonce Palace. It's a
This
non.
nigga
It's the
just ad-lib? I just heard a Ice Spice ad-lib.
Pedo Palace of England, and they want us, and they want it to make it so they can see us kids from the fence. It's not happening. Please watch this video and please protest against it. Put a petition against it. These nonsense cannot come to the fence.
One of the sex offenders who was mixed in with the inmates was 31-year-old Mahir Mohammed. His image bizarrely hasn't been published, and there's only a small section in the news as to why he even ended up in HMP Fossway to begin with. Mr. Mohammed had been jailed for an online conversation with a girl whom he thought was in her early teens. The girl was a decoy set up to snare pedophiles. The vigilante group behind the snare reported him to the police, and he ended up being jailed.
I'm glad that this is the case, but can somebody just confirm? I thought it was always that they couldn't arrest them unless the act was actually done. I thought, have we gotten to a point where they're arresting P's off of alleged, or not allegedly, but attempt of doing something? Especially when it's a decoy, because the decoys are technically, they're exactly what it sounds like. They're a decoy to set up these P's in these situations. And I've just seen videos before where the police actually weren't able to arrest them. Or maybe it's different in state by state.
At HMP Fossway. For that
Not American laws, those are UK laws. I see.
conviction, he was handed a 35-week
America need to update their shit then. Because America niggas need to get arrested for attempting to get caught in that shit as well.
prison sentence and was due to be released on August 21st, 2024. So yeah, Mahir had been caught by an online sting group and had landed himself in jail. We don't know what his time was like in the jail for the most part, but according to a report, his life had been made a literal living hell in the few weeks leading up to his release. This would have been around the time he crossed paths with his killers, Ashiri and Thierry. Those two, by the way, are infamous in their own right. Yes, this story takes a whole other turn when we come to find out that one of them is a relatively famous and successful UK drill rapper, and the other made national headlines for being extremely brazen with a firearm. Thierry, known by his alias Trills, has been making music for some years. His videos have racked up millions of views. However, he wasn't just a rapper, he was also a drug dealer, and that's how he ended up in HMP Fossway for 5.5 years. It was the circumstances surrounding Ashiri's arrest back in late 2023 that made news outlets from across the country pick up on his story. He had videoed himself
Welcome to the
dancing
stream,
with a loaded
Supreme.
gun. For that,
My
he was
dog.
jailed for 3.5 years in April of 2024. HMP Fossway was where he was going to call home while serving his sentence.
I hope this isn't his music, because this shit fucking sucks. This beat sounds like it was made in GarageBand. Oh shit.
Come to the front door now! With nothing in your hand! Secure! Right, this way. Right, what's your name? Glass everywhere. Step out of here.
We found the same gun under the mattress. This that royalty-free music, oh God.
Where you at, Berto?
Appears to be a Walther self-loading pistol made in Germany. Appears to be a 9mm with a 19 round capacity.
Once Mahir had crossed paths with the pair, they subjected him to weeks of verbal taunts and physical attacks due to the nature of his offending.
This nigga look like he on vacation. This damn near look like a hotel, bro. It look like he got a bathrobe on. What is going on here?
On August 19th, 2024, just 2 days before he was due to be released, Ashiri had visited Mahir's cell on 12 different occasions. While there, he verbally insulted him and physically assaulted him. Towards the end of the day, Mahir threw a kettle filled with boiling water through the gap of his cell door, which hit both Ashiri and Thierry. It was a revenge attack. This had been the first time he retaliated. Given the fact he was due to be released on the 21st, he probably thought he'd have been alright for a day. However, according to a report, as the hours went on, he asked to be moved to a different part of the prison as he feared for his life. Reality set in. That move wasn't granted, and well, you know what went down the following morning. At around 7:45 AM on August 20th, 2024, Mahir Mohammed had been found unresponsive in his cell by a female prison officer. He had been repeatedly punched, kicked, and stamped over the course of around...
Damn, being beaten to death has got to be brutal, bro. Because, believe it or not, our bodies are way more, like, durable than we think. So just straight up getting... So you're not alive anymore? I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.
37 seconds. Thierry and Ashiri couldn't appear weak after the kettle attack. It marked Mahir for death. His prediction was correct. He would officially be pronounced dead by paramedics around an hour after the attack. His eventual cause of death was a bleed to the brain. The investigation was swift, the pair were banged to rights, and eventually they were charged with murder. They surprisingly denied the charges that were placed against them and went on trial in the spring of 2025. In the end, Ashiri was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to life imprisonment with the minimum term of 17.5 years, whilst Thierry Robinson was found not guilty of murder, but was found guilty of manslaughter and received an 11-year prison sentence. So, some of you may be sitting there asking yourself, how did a convicted paedophile end up on the same wing as normal inmates? And well, simply put,
Not really. This video is getting kind of boring. I'm ready to end it here. I definitely was not asking myself that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. It's a pretty crazy situation. You know, just by the way that guy was grinning and menacingly looking at the camera in the beginning of the video, it caught my attention. But yeah, just crazy. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you catch the Twitch streams. Link to that will be in the description. And I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. I'm gone.